Hello and welcome to your live advanced training call. My name is Jared Krebs. I'm here in San Antonio, Texas. And before we bring on today's special guest, I want to remind you of 10 things to expect when building your USANA business. Number one, there will be ups and downs just like anything. Number two, success or failure is up to you. If you succeed, it's because of you. If you fail, it's because of you, not because of the person who invited you to USANA. Number three, the goal is for you to become independent and be an independent leader for your team. Number four, make your plan on the weekends, do it, review it, and make adjustments. Plan, do, review, adjust. Number five, it's going to take time. It's going to take 1 year to develop the skills to become competent at this type of business. It's going to take 3 years to develop a significant part-time income. It's going to take 5 years to develop a significant full-time income and 7 years to become world-class. It can happen faster, especially if you're doing your affirmations and your high level of action, but it's still going to take time. Number six, it takes consistent work and hustle. You have got to be consistent week in and week out. You cannot miss a week. Number seven, you're going to have to grow and get outside of your comfort zone. Number eight, mental toughness is necessary. Number nine, the grass is not greener in other companies. The grass is greener where you water it. And number 10, this is a long-term game. USANA is 27 years strong with over $2.5 billion paid to its associates. It's given me and my wife a full-time income for over a decade, as well as thousands of people around the world. And hundreds of thousands have made a part-time income over the 27 years with USANA. So it works if you work. And bonus tip, amateurs sell products, but professionals sell the vision. Make sure that you're sharing these types of webinars with your clients. Let them know about the possibilities of USANA, not just the great product. And few have done as well as Silver Director Brad Homer out of Copperton, Utah. And he is with us today. We are so excited to have you, Brad. Thank you for being here.
Good to be here. Hey, well, I'm not sure how you want me to get started. Jared, do you want me to just go from here?
Yeah, so everybody wants to know what your life was like before USANA, what were some of the challenges you were being faced with, and then also like when you started USANA, like how did it impact your health, your family's health, and then also what were the challenges you overcame to become a successful business builder? I know you've made checks every week for like 4 years in a row. You started out small just like everyone and have grown it up. So we want to know like some of those things in your journey and what your life is like today.
Oh, absolutely. So my life before USANA, so many people know, but some don't, that I'm a minister. So I work at a church full-time. My main role is I run the music and media ministry at our church. So that's what I do. But a lot of people resonate with this, that they don't have a retirement. They don't have any mechanism to do any more. We have 3 kids now north of 16 years old, and you know, it's like driving off a cliff financially. You just shovel money into a hole. There's not too much left over, and that can be debilitating for people, and it was for us. We needed a solution to move forward because I'm called to what I do, and I love what I do. So we wanted to provide a solution for our family to move forward. Well, back in 2013, USANA had a promotion for an iPad. And I wanted to buy Rachel an iPad for Christmas with my dad. And so a friend of mine, Brian and Jennifer Douglas, said, we have this promotion. Would you consider just buying some product and staying on auto order for a year, and we'll give you an iPad for free? So we just got into it because of the iPad and because I needed to shed some weight. That's it. And so you fast forward through 2013, and there were some changes that were made in my health. You see, prior to that, I could barely run around a block. Now I was an athlete in high school and college, and as a lot of people do, I gained a lot of weight after college because my lifestyle changed and I didn't maintain certain things and I didn't eat right. Well, we got stuck in a place where I remember Rachel and I would walk around this block. The block was 1 mile. So we would walk one leg, and then the next leg, which was another quarter mile, we would jog and then walk and then jog. And just after that, we were trashed for like 2 or 3 days. I was like, what's wrong? You know, am I old? And kind of I was. So we decided to make some changes and pursue this product with the USANA. But the day I brought it home, I remember Rachel, because we had tried other network marketing companies and other products before, and she is like, here we go again, you know, and after a year, there were a lot of changes in our health. We just felt better. We felt healthier. Now, there's not one thing I can put my finger on, because I didn't change a lot about my eating. I just replaced a shake for a meal, and I took the supplementation that we needed. So fast forward after that, going back to our need before USANA was a need of a solution for retirement, to help launch our boys to life, to make some extra income with Rachel still working in the home. So we went and we had an investor. We did the research to start our own coffee roasting company out of our house. And it was great. It's a great business model. It's a good thing. But I'm pretty committed to what I do for work. And I woke up one night and I said, this is going to take over my life. You know, if it grows, I'm going to need employees. I'm going to have to do supply chain. I'm going to have to do fulfillment. That's on top of all the roasting. And we love coffee, you know, we love doing that. But I had a sense that this was going to take over our lives. So we have friends, Brian and Jennifer Douglas, and I said, they've been doing this USANA gig for like 20 years. They helped a lot of people. I said, let's give it a shot. Now, the backstory to that is our last network marketing company, we called them one day and they were shut down. They were gone. They were done. So you couldn't find them anymore. It was like there was a busy signal on the other end. And so we were very skeptical. So I set up a meeting with Brian and Jennifer, and that was right around April of 2014. And so he set up some people to be in the meeting. One was April London, one was Brian Dixon, one was Brian Balke, one was Chris Harrell. Now I'm one of Brian's pastors, and he wanted to, I think, stack the deck, but I didn't know that. I didn't know these people. I thought I was just going to his house for, you know, food and hanging out and talking about the business a little bit. He basically said, don't listen to me. I want you to ask these people any question you want. So for several hours, these 4 people just unloaded on us, like their fears, their successes. It was amazing. It was amazing. And I remember us driving home from Brian and Jennifer's down the hill, because they lived up on the hill at the time. And Rachel said, I think I could do this. I think I could do this. And that was more than ever was said before, because we just weren't into the business end of things. So that started kind of before and after USANA at the initial stages. Let me look at my notes right here. Along the way, there have been a lot of ups and downs. I mean, they tell you this, but this is like one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Like they don't tell you that. It is not a job. Don't expect it to be a job. You need to treat it like a job in some ways, in the rhythms and routines, but it is not a job. It is your business. And as you mentioned in the beginning, your success is your success and your failure is your failure. It's a perfect mirror of who you are. Now, we've been successful in other areas. You know, I've been very, I would call it successful in church. You know, I'm really, really thankful for that. My career is a good career in that sense, career and calling. But when we stepped into network marketing, in a business and into USANA, it was a whole different world of the mirror was in front of us. So exactly what happened revealed maybe some ugliness in ourselves that we needed to adjust. Maybe some habits that need to be adjusted, maybe some motives that need to be rethought, maybe some assumptions that need to be challenged. So I wrote down a few kind of hot topics. I would say the first thing we knew, are we still good, Jared? Okay. We first learned how to fail. That's the first thing we learned. So our first convention we went to in 2014, we went there because we had tried the business a little bit over the summer of 2014 and made a few checks, and we're like, this isn't working. Like, what's wrong? And we had a huge sense leaving a convention in 2014 that we were just unteachable. We were not doing what our upline was recommending to us. We wanted to do it our own way. And actually, network marketing, yeah, you need to bring yourself to it, but it's not that complicated. You just have to be perseverant in some of the activities to have some success, and you need to become an expert in some of the activities to grow success. So we learned to fail our first convention, and we failed several times through that time. Now, we haven't stopped making a check since September of that year, but we've had ups and downs. One other thing that we failed in is at first we would vomit all over people our story, and we burned a lot of bridges. We burned through a lot of our good, warm market that way. So if somebody's starting out, I encourage you just work with Randy and with Jared on being patient with sharing your story the right way and approaching people the right way, because you will be that person, that network marketing person. And it's okay to fail with it. You just want to limit the amount of times you do that. So be willing to fail, but be willing to be teachable. The second thing is we learned how to lead. So the foundation we have for our leadership on our team and with the people we influence is, how can we serve our people's greatest needs? And there's really only a few needs people have: physical, emotional, relational, spiritual, and skills. Those are really only the needs they are. So, like, I've gone to surgery with people on my team. I have helped people move. I have, I met with somebody who went through like a major life change. We want to meet their needs. We want to see what their greatest need is. Now, sometimes that's very obvious, but other times they want something, they think it's their greatest need, but actually it could be detrimental to them. And sometimes we need to share some harder truth where they might be doing activities that, if you continue this way, it's not going to be good. I've been down that road before, and could I speak into your life and explain why? So sometimes you have to go that direction. Other things we've learned about how to lead is you don't drag people. You can't make people want it. Let friends that get into the business just be friends if that's what they want. Just let it happen and have clarifying conversations so that friendship isn't stifled. I think that's really important. Also, to lead, you have to have clear goals. So what are your goals? I have a sheet over here on my desk. I'm at my office at church, and I have a sheet where I've set out to read my goals every day. Even in ministry, I have things I want to accomplish and do. And if you read your goals and have clear goals, then you'll start chipping away at them. It will change the way you think about your day, about your life. have activity that supports those goals. So sometimes you have goals and you want to lead in those goals, but the activity doesn't match up. So the last point is pay someone. I encourage you to pay someone to help you with those goals. And the reason is your friends are, some friends are well-meaning, they want to help you, but they're not going to put your feet to the fire like paying somebody. And it doesn't have to be a lot. It can be, there's a lot of business coaches out there that are very modestly priced, but that will help you move forward. So we have a business coach that Rachel meets with monthly, and they review goals and activities and things that we need to change. The next part is how we have learned to persevere. So perseverance is like, as I told you before, is one of the hardest things we've done in this business. And I think to persevere, you have to have proper expectations, and don't expect, like Jared mentioned at the first, expect to learn the skills in a year and start part-time income in about 3 years, and then 5 years go pro and grow that income. Well, the problem is sometimes we have an expectation that's different than that, and it's hard to persevere when we have expect too much of ourselves. And I think it's just, some people are going to take off and they're just going to go say, I'll meet you at the top, but I'm going to take a little longer. It's okay. It's okay for people to go faster than you. You have to do what you're gifted in. And if you try and change that and be somebody else, everyone's going to know that. The second part of perseverance is recognize that only you can adjust your thoughts and behaviors. It's important to know that, no one else can get inside your head and rewire your brain. You have to do that. You have to set your thoughts on things that are good and going to be helpful. The third part is the company will do things that you don't like at times. They're going to do things you don't like. USANA is a great company. 90-something% of all they do, I love it. And then there's that thing that happens every once in a while. Don't focus on that thing. To persevere, focus on the 90% they're doing right, not on the things that they could adjust. And finally, your business partners will do things which are detrimental to their goals. And they have to learn. Let them falling sometimes be the teacher. Don't you be the teacher all the time. And we've had people come to us of like, we've tried this. Well, we love you, but and you're welcome back, but you recognize that thing you did was detrimental. Yeah, I recognized that wasn't good. I needed to adjust my behavior and move forward. So that's how we've learned to persevere. If you set your expectation of, well, how your business partners are doing is how you feel about yourself, well, you're going to be up and down every single day. You need to set your expectation to persevere that you're in it for the long game and you're not going to take the emotional roller coaster. And then the final thing I had is about perseverance is don't stop. I think that's what people fail at. That's how you fail. When you stop. I ride bike all the time. I cycle. And unless you're like a BMX biker, you do not stop on a bike. You keep pedaling. You can adjust the pace. You can slow down. You can speed it up. But when you stop, that's when things get dangerous. That's when you can't turn anymore. So if you stop, you die. You can go slow. You can take a few days off at times. Life, sometimes hit, but don't stop. Plan those things. Okay, I'm going to take 3 days off. I'm back at it on Thursday morning. Instead of saying, well, I'll get back to it later. Put a date on it. And the other thing is, this is not about network marketing or USANA. This is about all of life, about not stopping. this is a truth. You can either bend to this truth or let that truth break you. You can't change the truth that when you stop, you start to die. You'll go backwards. And then, so to persevere, keep moving, because it's easier to pivot and adjust when you're already in motion. When you're moving forward, you can adjust things. It's not easy, but you can do it. When you're stopped, it's very difficult to pivot. So that's what I have so far. Was there any other questions I missed, Jared?
So good, so good. I'm like taking notes. I'm like reposting your stuff on Instagram. I'm like loving it right now. I love what you had to say about perseverance, because really that at the end of the day, that's what is like the most important thing. I mean, everything's important. There's different things that we need to learn along the way. But if you quit, or if you don't stop, you stop moving forward, then you're out, you know? And so this is probably the thing that keeps the growth happening in a person, especially with their business. So thank you for sharing that. And yes, we do open it up for questions on the last like 5-10 minutes. So if you have a question for Brad, please type it in the chat. If you're on Facebook Live, type it in the Facebook and I will read it for you. And I'm going to start with my question.
Sure.
So what's a time where like you were like struggling, and how did you get over it with your business?
Wow. There's so many times. Let me think for a second as I'm chatting right now. I remember when we've had people quit, and they're friends. They're really good friends, and I think the way that's a big challenge, because this business is so relational, isn't it? Like we love the people we work with. Like we're invested in them, and not just in business, but in other ways. And when people give up and quit, there's a temptation to just either block them out or to leave things kind of ambiguous. So I would say to get over it, it's, as I mentioned a little bit briefly, it's good to clarify your relationship. Even though we're not doing USANA together anymore, I just want to let you know that that's not on my radar right now. You are on my radar. And so to move forward, you move forward by clarifying it. And if people just want to stop for a while, and just clarify it, because when it's ambiguous, it eats up all your brain power. You worry about it. And I think people don't want to have that clarifying conversation, but it's really important to have it so you can move forward and they can move forward too.
Love it. Thank you. That's such a great tip. We all go through that. We all go through having people drop out, and unfortunately, that's just a reality of not just this business, all business and jobs, and people come and go, and that's just part of what you have to go through in anything you're building, right? So
yeah, that's part of it, Jared. Like, some people think this business isn't actually like other businesses, and that's just totally untrue. I mean, we do the same thing. We just share products a little bit different way, and it's a little different model.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and same with the church, I know as well. You have volunteers come and go. You have paid position people come and go, and so yeah, absolutely. We have a question from Sue Ann Knobloch in San Antonio. She says, how do you stay happy within yourself through the good and bad times?
I think it's through, I think to stay happy, you need to be focused, not just on your business, but on soul care for yourself. And I think at the heart of that actually is the paradox of service. So of selflessly serving other people. Like just giving yourself to other people. And I think when we do that, there's joy involved in that. There's meaning involved in that. And I think just giving ourselves to other people is part of how we stay happy. If I focus on myself, usually I get really narcissistic and selfish. But when aim to serve other people selflessly with no expectations. Just do it. There's a joy that comes through that that's actually intangible. So that's how we do it. Favorite book, I'm going to say my favorite book is the Bible. I read it every day. It's a bestseller. That's on the comments there. I think one of my favorite sayings is actually there's a fitness couple called HasFit on YouTube, and they repeat the saying, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And it's just talking about, you got to set your mind where you want it to go. And I think that's an amazing gift that we're given by God to be able to willfully choose a direction and to move forward with it. We're not destined for failure or destined for success. We get to move forward based on our choices.
Love it. Love it. Mm-hmm. All right. We have some questions coming in on Facebook Messenger. So your lovely wife, Rachel Robinson Homer's watching. Say hello. And we also have Jared Harris. He says, how do you handle the automatic distractions?
Automatic distractions. What do you think he means by that, Jared? I'm thinking
like phone stuff, like texts and messaging and things like that.
Okay. Well, I just read a book or listened to a book again by Carolyn Leaf about the brain and about just taking care of that. She repeated something that I've learned in my schooling over and over again. You can't multitask. Multitasking is an illusion. There's another book out there called Deep Work, and it's talking about if you want to accomplish something, you have to set up boundaries where you're able to focus on a task that you want to accomplish. So before we got on the call today, I had to edit 4 documents. So I set my mind on, I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm turning off notifications, and I'm going to do those things in the next, I think it was probably 20 minutes. And I accomplished them. But if I had let the distractions in, then it would have taken an hour and a half. So I think that's part of it. And I think the other part is educating people around you. Like Rachel has a little schedule that she set up. Like I typically don't try to bother her during certain hours, even though she's working at home. And that's important so that she can focus. So you gotta be willing to do it. It's just like exercise. If you're not willing to do that exercise, you're not going to get the results. Well, setting your mind solely focused on something. Now, it might be if you're at work and you have all these texts coming in, and you want to do your business on, in your not extra time, but time outside of your normal work. You just have to say, well, I'm going to give it a power half an hour, a power hour. If you're not able to respond then, and educate people, I respond, after 5, and then they know they're not disappointed as much.
Oh, cool. That's a great tip. Like letting them know, like, okay, this is like almost like, when people text you when you're driving or whatever, and they say, I'm driving. When I'm done driving, it's like an automatic message. So yeah, I don't know how you even set that stuff up, or if you just would have to send it manually, but really cool tip for sure. And thank you, Jared, for the question.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. So I can't believe a half hour is past. Time flies when you're having fun. Bradley, thank you again for your time. We really appreciate it. And before we end, could you please give us your last piece of advice that you want everybody to hear?
My last piece of advice is that if you focus more on other people than yourself, your business will naturally grow.
Boom. So true. Oh my gosh. I can tell you, every time I'm thinking about Jared going diamond and Jared this and Jared that, I'm stressed out. But if I think about like helping people and who can I help today and how many texts can I send out today and how many phone calls can I do, and like, then I'm happy, and it seems like I do better with my goals. So very, very good. Thank you so much, Brad. We really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and unmute the lines and everyone say thank you, Brad, and have an awesome day.
Thank you, Brad. Have an
Thank you,
awesome
Brad.
day.
Have an awesome day.
Thank you, Brad. I appreciate it.
Brad,
Bye.
I'm going to call you, Brad. Thank you.